everyone and welcome to my second Jikook video. I really apologize that it has taken so long. Mainly the reason is because I'm first of all lazy and second of all I edited like 40 minutes of this video once and basically was down to the final touches, and then my computer broke and I lost completely like everything, all the clips that I had downloaded and all my like recordings and stuff and editing. So that was super frustrating for me and I just lost motivation for quite a while. Well, at least now I think a lot of people have time because a lot of people are quarantined at home. So yeah, in this video I will basically go through all the things that I think prove that Jikook are more than friends. You don't have to watch the last video before this one, because I will be saying all the relevant things from that one and more in this video. And the last video did have a compilation of their 2018 moments, which won't be in this one, so if you want to see some like pretty interesting moments, you can go and watch that one. So this moment, guys, I don't really have anything else to say other than would you suck your friend's ear? Because I'm pretty comfortable with being affectionate with my friends, but I don't think I would suck my friend's ear. I think sucking someone's ear is just something that feels way too intimate and also isn't really appealing at all unless you are, well, in love with someone. So if you look back to BTS's debut days, Jungkook used to rank Jimin last in looks. However, these days it's the opposite, as you can see from this clip.
예, 알았어요. 읽어주세요.
정국 씨, 현재 외모 순위 알려주세요. 1등은 자, 꼴등했던 지민 씨가 1등으로.
아, 역시
지민 씨가 1등으로 나갔습니다.
이게 세상에 오래 살고 볼 일이.
In their recent comeback V-Live, Jungkook picked Jimin to shoot the second concept photo best, while the other members picked Jin.
하나, 둘, 셋.
나는 진영 같아.
나도 진.
저도 진.
난 지민이야.
When Jimin, who seemed quite excited by this, insisted that Jungkook further explain his choice, Jungkook mentioned how Jimin looks elegant since he's a dancer.
오케이.
지민이 형이
일단 그 약간 뭐라 해야 될까, 무용을 했던 사람이고
네.
약간 우아한
우아했나요?
우아한 흑조 같다는 느낌을 좀 받았어요.
아, 네. 정말요?
그렇습니다.
And when Jimin asked for more reasons, because we know Jimin loves those compliments, Jungkook continued to talk about how Jimin looks youthful without makeup on but sexy with makeup on, which is honestly not really related to the comeback photos, but you know, it's good that Jungkook got to let those feelings out.
우아한 흑조 같았다.
지민 씨가 평소에는 화장 안 하면 약간
귀엽죠?
어리고 그러는데 이제 화장을 또 하고 또 머리까지 다 하면 약간
형 같았나요? 흑조 같다.
약간 섹시해지지 않나?
섹시한 네. 섹시한 네. 또 이렇게 또 극찬해 주세요. 전 여기에
진영도.
And of course Jungkook finds Jimin very cute too.
본인이 귀엽다는 걸 너무 잘 알아요. 뭔가 일부러 하는 행동이 가끔 눈에 보일 때가 있어요. 아, 나 너무 귀여워.
여러분들이 너무 많은 거예요. 그래서 너무 행복하잖아.
귀여워.
둘, 셋.
샵. 자, 옷도 다 입었겠다. 아, 잠시만요. 태영이가 정말로 하고 싶어. 본인 하고 싶대요. 자신 있어요? 자신 있어요? 서울샵.
지민이 형 머리가 너무 귀여운 거 아니에요?
너무 귀여운데?
무슨 일이야? 가발 쓴 거 아니야? 가라 그래요? 카메라 보고 귀여운 척 해주세요. 하나, 둘, 셋. 야, 진짜 귀엽긴 하다.
와, 둘리 같아. 둘리 닮았다, 너. 너 둘리 닮았다.
데뷔초로 돌아간 거 같아. 좀 더 성숙한 모습을 보여주고 싶어서 잘랐는데. 여러분. 한 번 더 해야 된다. 자, 가면 바로 갑니다. 하나, 둘, 셋.
와, 진짜 귀여워.
여러분. 너랑 사랑.
이어복이고 열정적인 댄스를 치면서 브릿지를 걷는.
So here are some clips where Jungkook seems mesmerized by Jimin.
Thank you so much for everything. You made us what we are today. Remember, we love you.
Okay, so.
그래서 예전에는 미래 내가 내 롤모델이 될 수 있게 멋있는 사람이 되면 너무 좋겠다 이런 생각을 좀 하다가 여러분들한테 하고 싶은 말은 여러분들은 저희의 롤모델이고 영웅이고 또 저희의 모든 것이라고 꼭 얘기해주고 싶었던 것 같아요. 너무너무 감사합니다. 자, 그리고
maybe we could see if we can learn some of your routines. Teach?
야, baby mochi.
Okay, you go on. Take it through us slowly.
And 2.
And 4.
Jungkook is obviously very attracted to different sides of Jimin and his duality in itself. What I think is worth noting about Jimin rising from last to first place in these rankings is that it obviously means that Jungkook has over time become okay with being attracted to Jimin. He obviously doesn't find Jimin unattractive, so what other reason would there have been for him ranking him last before, except if he was somehow intimidated by his feelings. If they weren't threatening to him in any way and he just felt platonic feelings towards Jimin, he would have comfortably acknowledged his looks all along, because there wouldn't have been anything to hide. Now, when it comes to how Jimin sees Jungkook, I think it's pretty obvious. Jimin is clearly attracted to the combination of cute Jungkook and strong Jungkook, and he isn't really afraid to express it. I think the examples that I am about to give about the tension between them and about the way that they act around each other really can't be explained as platonic at all. There's very clearly this kind of giddiness and tension between them that doesn't exist between any of the other members. I think it's definitely one of those things that sets their relationship apart. After 10 years of knowing each other, this is not behavior that you would expect from two friends. So in this clip, Jin literally ends up asking whether they are together because of their giddiness and awkwardness when they are playing the game.
오케이, 뒤에 한 명씩. 자, 이쪽 태영이. 자, 준비하시고 준비. 시작. 자, 빨리 밀치세요. 여러분 웃음 참기 게임이 아니에요. 준비됐어요? 네. 갈게요. 아니 둘이 사귀세요?
You can see that they are really enjoying each other's presence to the point where they forget their surroundings and what they're supposed to do. And Jungkook, who's usually very competitive, can't even move and lets out this nervous laugh when Jimin gently pushes him.
네, 갈게요.
Then Jimin basically proceeds to not answer Jin's question and walks out, successfully avoiding the question and escaping another awkward round of the game.
지민 씨 탈락. 오케이. 그냥 나무도 할게. 오케이.
And if you look at Namjoon's face during this, he clearly looks a bit concerned about what is about to happen and watches it with a kind of dread, almost as if he wants to look away.
자, 빨리 밀치세요! 여러분 웃음 참기 게임이 아니에요.
Now, you could argue that Jin's comment would mean that they are not together, because why would he otherwise ask that? However, it could have just been his way to lighten the mood and get them out of their trance by using the question to point out that they were being too obvious. This V-Live, I could talk about it for a long time, but I just settled to explaining what is important here, which already takes way too long. But basically what happened was that Jimin was doing a V-Live with Jin in Jin's room, and Jungkook came in to join. However, they ended up turning the live off when they heard the doorbell ring because they didn't want to stretch the live further.
그러면 누군가 온 것 같았으니까 방송을 여기서 종료하겠습니다.
Jungkook was kind of pissed off about this, and well, here's his reaction posted by Jimin on Twitter with the caption, "I love you, Jungkook."
Who are you? 누구세요? 정국 씨. 정국이. 껐어. 안 껐어. 여러분, 정국이가 왔습니다, 여러분. 야, 드디어 이렇게 3명이서 모였네요, 여러분.
So Jungkook basically went back to his room to say hi in his own V-Live, with Jimin following behind him, and Jimin wasn't even supposed to appear in the V-Live, but he ended up coughing or doing some kind of other sound, so Jungkook was forced to show him. And this is when things got really awkward because they hadn't expected this. Jimin basically stated that Jungkook had gotten mad at him, but then Jungkook proceeded to deny it. However, there was clearly some weird tension there, and Jimin was obviously way more bothered by Jungkook's disappointment than Jin, who initially just stayed in his room.
인사하시죠. 네, 안녕하세요, 여러분. 종구야, 또 혼났어요. 종구야, 많이 화났었어요. 아니, 내가 화는 안 냈잖아요. 까잖아, 씨!
Now, everything just gets really awkward here, and Jimin makes an excuse to leave as soon as possible.
아, 그래서 원래 인사만 하고 갈 생각이었어? 그죠. 아, 그래, 몰랐지. 근데? 사랑해. 껐죠. 이제 사제 쓰니까 형 가도 될까? 아, 가도 돼. 알았어. 들어가시고요. 아, 여러분들과 좋은 시간이네요. 잘했습니다, 정우씨. 예. 좋은 밤 되시고. 뭐야, 다 이거. 뭐야, 다. 왜 어떻게 놓은 거예요? 왜요? 잘 이겨놨네. 저 제 옷은 가져갈게요. 예. 들어가시고요.
In between, though, there is this scene.
왜 이래? 아마추어 같이 프로잖아. 예상 못했어? 네.
Jungkook mostly tries to just watch the screen, I think to avoid any kind of disasters by making eye contact with Jimin. But eventually he turns to sort of look at Jimin's, I don't know, torso. I think he was maybe like bothered by the fact that his shirt was kind of loose. And then Jimin like turns his head to look at Jungkook when he notices this, and then Jungkook's head kind of like jolts up. It's just so awkward. You guys can see from here, but yeah, Jimin basically notices his awkwardness and then starts to sort of knowingly tease him about being an amateur when he should be a pro at live streaming. And then, I mean, you guys can just watch. Jungkook seems very restrained, and it looks as if he's just wondering what he, got himself into. And basically the members end up coming to the room and, making this whole scene. And my guess is kind of that they noticed the V-Live and then just decided that they need to come to the rescue, because otherwise, some damage might occur, which it did already, but just so that they don't expose themselves even more. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna analyze the rest of it because there's so many videos on it, and I mean, that kind of like very specific, analyzing is not really my forte, but there's some really awesome videos about it. For example, this is like my favorite Jikook channel. They are like a genius, so definitely you should check this channel out if you haven't already. So the final clip that I want to mention here is this relatively new one.
굉장히 마음에 들었어요. 저희들은 참 오랫동안 유닛을 같이 했거든요. 어때요? 좀 오랫동안 형이랑 같이 유닛을 네?
So as you can notice, Jungkook doesn't really make eye contact with Jimin, but rather just puts his hand on Jimin's shoulder. To me, his behavior here, again, is just very awkward and kind of like new crush behavior, which is kind of weird since they have known each other like for 10 years. But yeah, I mean, this just showcases how different their relationship is. But yeah, basically, Jungkook seems unable to make eye contact with Jimin, which is probably just due to fear of him embarrassing himself or blushing or something like that. And he ends up making an awkward comment about not wanting to be in a unit with Jimin, but it's obviously more of a panicky, teasy reaction to Jimin's flirting instead of a real I would rather be with someone else. I think there's even now a part of him that gets really flustered by Jimin and therefore has to playfully reject him to not feel too vulnerable, although he's way more open about his feelings than before. But yeah, he obviously ends up being a bit confused about his response himself and then just laughs with this amused expression. But what I want to ask is, would Jungkook playfully reject any other member of BTS like this? Because I have never seen that happen. I think he doesn't really have any reason to say that he would want to be in another subunit because they all like each other, at least that's the impression that I have gotten. And, you know, he's not a mean person, so I think this is just a very awkward, panicky response when he feels overwhelmed by Jimin's flirty presence. So, as I mentioned in my last video, I think GCF Tokyo is one of the biggest proofs of them being romantically involved with each other. It's basically an indirect statement. There was someone who wasn't really convinced in the last video when I mentioned this because they felt that it was comparable to them playfully singing a romantic song to their friends in a car, but in my opinion these two things aren't really at all comparable. What Jungkook did was obviously something that requires careful planning and a lot of effort and was obviously a more serious emotional art project for him. When I watch this video, it makes me feel as if I'm watching Jimin through a person's eyes who is completely infatuated and head over heels for Jimin. And I started thinking about why I felt this way, because I know that I'm not the only one, and you can like read the comments of this video. There's people who don't know BTS and they just happen to stumble across this video and they immediately, based on the video, they assume that Jimin and Jungkook are together. So to someone who is looking at this very objectively, it does seem like Jimin and Jungkook are together. But yeah, basically here is an attempt of me trying to explain why this video is so sort of romantic. So number one, Jungkook films Jimin doing very average things in slow motion, and he seems very enthusiastic to film Jimin just like laughing and being himself in his purest form, which I think just showcases how sort of beautiful Jungkook thinks even Jimin in his very like natural form, just doing normal things, is. And it also showcases how Jimin is just very happy simply being in Jungkook's presence. Number two, Jungkook picked a gay song by Troye Sivan for the background, which oddly fits their hypothetical relationship very well, but in all the parts where it doesn't really fit well, he doesn't film Jimin but rather the scenery. Now, if they were just friends, I think it would be a risky move for Jungkook to film Jimin like this and have this song on the background, because it would possibly give the wrong message, unless the message was very intentional. Number three, the whole video is very romantic, but there is one scene in the end which always makes my heart kind of stop, although the whole video like makes my heart stop several times, but especially this scene. So in the song that Troye sings, there is a bridge where he says, "Boy, I'm holding on to something, won't let go of you for nothing. I'm running just to keep my hands on you." And it's like the ultimate declaration of love in the song. And precisely at the time, Jungkook only films Jimin walking and laughing in slow motion when they are leaving Disneyland, I believe. And the clip is just stretched in a way that makes me feel that this is not just a coincidence, but rather the words are intended at the model, and it's just a very clear statement to me.
Boy, I'm holding on to something. Won't let go of you for nothing. I'm running just to keep my hands on you. There was a time that I was so blue. What I got to do to show you? I'm running just to keep my hands on you. Running just to keep my hands on you. Running just to keep my hands on you. Said I'm running just to keep my hands on you. But you gotta be there for me too.
It really gives that vibe. Honestly, the whole vibe of the video, it is difficult to explain in words. You have to like experience it yourself, but I would definitely recommend watching this video because I think it's just such a clear statement from Jungkook, and it's I would find it very weird if he just shot this whole video and edited this whole video and chose the music and everything just with like a platonic idea of their relationship in his mind. It seems to be Jikook's thing to say you are me, I am you to each other.
어떤 곡이 제일 좋았어요? 그거죠? 역시 그런 것 같은데.
저도 지민이 형이랑 생각이 좀 비슷해요. 저도 빨리
동점이야? 동점이야, 동점! 동점이야.
정말 말했잖아. 너는 나, 나는 너. 뭐가 더워? 나 더워. 너는 나.
는 그런 감정들을 많이 느끼실 수 있을 거라고 생각이 드는데요.
이 중에서 제일 먼저 나온 솔로죠. 그죠, 맞습니다.
그죠? 저잖아요. 아, 죄송하고요.
지민이 형이 항상 본인 곡 가지고 장난쳐요. 해봐요.
나나나. 무튼 그래서 무대할 때
This definitely tells us how intimate and deep their bond is. For them to feel this way, they must experience a very deep connection to each other. The phrase "you are me, I am you" is originally from Serendipity, which is Jimin's solo song that talks about a perfect love written in the stars, so it basically talks about a relationship that is destiny. Now, guess who believes in destiny?
운명을 믿나? 운명을 믿니? 저는 솔직히 말해서 이 사람 인생이라는 건 다 플랜이 짜여 있다고 생각해요. 봐봐요. 내가 일단 데자뷰를 꼬아요, 많이. 근데 그게 내가 진짜 똑같이 봤던 거를 실제로 봐요. 진짜로. 뻥이 아니라 진짜로. 진짜 명확하게 정확하게 내가 겪은 일도 절대 아니고 정말 새로운 일인데 그거를 본다니까요. 그래서 나는 이제 그거가 몇 번이나 있었어요, 제가. 그래서 저는 운명이란 걸 믿고.
So whether our lives are planned or not is debatable, but what I think is not debatable is that at least Jungkook believes in destiny, and therefore it would make a lot of sense that after experiencing this certain kind of connection with Jimin, he would feel that it's not just a coincidence. So here are just a few examples of what I mean by this unusual connection between Jungkook and Jimin.
너 IQ 몇이야? 128. 야, 높네. 너 몇이야? 너 128인데? 너 107인데?
되게 안쓰러웠어요. 제가 어쨌든 지민 형이 어떤 사람인지 잘 아니까 솔직히 그 형도 되게 스트레스 많이 받았을 거예요. 본인의 몸에 대해서 무리하게 쓰긴 해요. 근데 그게 보여질 때는 되게 멋있으니까. 그래서 지민 형 마음을 좀 되게 잘 알 것 같아요. 알 것 같아가지고.
Now let's look at the rest of the lyrics of Serendipity, as they seem like they would kind of fit Jikook's hypothetical relationship quite nicely. So the lyrics go in the following way. All this is no coincidence. Just by my feeling, the whole world is different from yesterday. Just with your joy. When you called me, I became your flower. As if we were waiting, we bloom until we ache. Maybe it's the providence of the universe. It just had to be that. You know, I know, you are me, I am you. So here we see that the speaker feels that a love is too perfect in every sense to be just a coincidence. Since the phrase you are me, I am you is very connected to the rest of the song, would it not be odd for Jikook to randomly pick this phrase from Serendipity and describe their relationship using it without feeling like the whole song is about them? The lyrics continue in the following way. As much as my heart flutters, I'm worried. The destiny is jealous of us. Just like you, I'm so scared when you see me, when you touch me. The universe is moved for us without missing a single thing. Our happiness was meant to be 'cause you love me and I love you. I think these lyrics would really resonate with Jikook because while everything seems technically arranged perfectly for them, for example, they were the only members born in Busan and then they ended up in the same band that achieves this success that has never been seen before from a K-pop band, and because of this it's basically inevitable that they spend most of their time together and get to know each other very well, and then they also have all this stuff in common. It kind of seems a bit too perfect to be true, but yeah, while everything is technically perfect, there is also this fear and danger. Firstly, because they are both men, which is not really accepted in Korean society, and secondly, they are in a wildly successful band, so if there were any dating rumors, people would go pretty insane and there would definitely be a lot of backlash. So I think a part of them also probably feels a bit trapped in their situation. But yeah, so I'm not really stating that this song was just written for Jikook and is based on Jikook. I think the song is definitely for their storyline, fictional, universe. It wasn't even written by Jimin, I don't think. But I think like they might have just felt that by coincidence this song feels very accurate and kind of resonates with them, so they might have just sort of chosen to playfully use this song as a description of their relationship. Okay, so this might seem a bit invasive to some, but I do want to kind of touch on this since I think it's important to consider. In most relationships, no matter if they are gay or straight, I think one person is often more feminine and one more masculine. Not necessarily always, but at least based on my observations, this tends to often be the case. I think people tend to be sexually attracted to someone who is in certain ways opposite to them. When you think about it, Jimin and Jungkook being attracted to each other makes a lot of sense, because while Jimin is very physically affectionate, he has also expressed a liking for being protected and dominated physically.
우리 정국이는요, 요즘 힘이 세져서 저를 지켜줄 수 있는 애가 돼서 참 좋아요. 듬직한 반려정국이.
이거 안 나는데?
In addition, he prefers to be seen as cute rather than manly these days, although in their debut days he was still kind of, I think, trying to prove his masculinity a bit, but I think it was just this kind of huge desire for him to be accepted and, liked by people, so I think that's why he kind of tried to prove his masculinity. But these days he, I think, has definitely embraced his more feminine sides and definitely likes to act cute a lot and more pretty instead of like very manly. Jungkook, on the other hand, seems to display a desire to dominate physically and prefers to be seen as manly and strong.
조영사, 쟤 좀 데리고 와봐.
여기 들으세요.
They also complete each other in the sense that Jimin is more open and nurturing, whereas Jungkook is quite closed off and shy emotionally. So there's that, but for a relationship to really work long term, it also requires some similarities between the two people. Otherwise, there's really no emotional connection. But Jikook also has this, which can be seen from my previous point. They often tend to talk about how similar they are in many ways. Something I also want to mention is that there is this strange dynamic between them that doesn't really exist between any of the other members. Since Jungkook is the youngest in Korean society, he is expected to be respectful to the older members and to use honorifics like Hyung when addressing them. While he follows these rules with the other members, Jimin is sort of an exception. Ever since their debut days, Jungkook has enjoyed acting like the older one in their relationship and has always treated Jimin with a certain kind of disrespect. And by that I mean this type of disrespect.
경국이 너도 이제 곧 지민 생일인데 이제 형이라도 그냥 한번 때리는 게 낫지 않아? 뭐? 이제 꺼
반말한다고. 야, 자, 지민아 갈게. 지민아 갈게, 자. 지민아 컷. 지민아 뭐하냐? 지민아 뭐하냐?
However, Jimin actually seems to enjoy that. On top of that, Jimin is basically the only member that Jungkook doesn't consistently address using honorifics.
지민아.
아, 지민아 잘했어.
다음을 준비하시고 지금 만나요.
But rather he uses a lot of pet names like these. This is like a point within itself.
가자, 애기야 가자.
지민 씨, 당신이나 때리지 말고.
미안. 당신의 옷이 크기 때문에.
And some other honorifics instead of Hyung in a teasy, rather flirty way.
가만히 있으세요. 가만히 있으세요. 다음 강아지. 맨날 지민 씨.
가자. 내가 이제 몸을 또 찍어야지. 지민 씨.
저 왜요?
아, 지민 씨.
저 왜요?
반쪽 얼굴이야 나머지. 반쪽 얼굴.
지민 씨.
지민 씨, 첫 번째 리퀘스트는 무엇입니까?
지민 씨.
재민 씨. 앞으로.
Jimin also enjoys acting as if Jungkook is the Hyung or even 선배님.
정국 선배님 좀 한참 또 외모에 불이 오르셔가지고요. 선배님 존경합니다.
되면 오늘 하루 동안 형이라고 부를게요. 뭐야?
Now, let me ask that if the relationship was just platonic, why would this be tolerated? It certainly isn't by the other members. There is no reason for Jimin to tolerate being respected to in a scenario where their relationship was just platonic or brotherly, because there is nothing attractive about the idea in that case. However, he does seem to actually like the idea of their ages being reversed, as does Jungkook, which tells us that they are also physically attracted to each other, because in this scenario, it can only be related to a desire to either not be in control or to be in control in the relationship, which is kind of a dynamic that is usually only present in sexual relationships. My last video was largely about the evolution of their relationship, but I want to touch on it briefly again and talk about why it's so important to pay attention to it. In my last video, I portrayed their relationship in 2013 to be very much Jungkook rejecting Jimin's love. However, many commented on my video and said that it wasn't actually quite like that. Even during those times, there were a lot of moments when Jungkook would soften and express his affection towards Jimin in more subtle ways.
다 물어볼 수 있어요.
지민 씨,
다른 사이는 뭐 할 거예요?
네.
뭘 할 수 있어요?
However, it can't be denied that at the time he was way colder and would often say things that hurt Jimin.
제일 힘든 거 정국이가 나 안 좋아하는 거. 그럼 평생 힘들겠다.
막내 정국 씨가 뽑은 방탄소년단의 외모술.
또 마지막으로 들어오다니.
맞네.
지민 씨.
네.
할 말이 많을 것 같은데요.
정국이와 또 따로 봐야 될 것 같습니다.
근데 정국 씨 본인을 마지막에서 두 번째로 뒀어요.
네.
이유는요?
저보다 다 잘생긴.
그렇죠. 하지만 단 한 명만 빼고라는 거죠. 예, 지민 씨 축하드립니다.
하루만에 휴가가 생긴다면 정국이랑 1대1로 데이트하고 싶습니다. 손잡고 걸어 다니고.
저는 하루만 휴가가 생긴다면
나랑 행복하게 살자.
Many people decide to use this against Jikook, even though this phase is actually proof that their relationship has never really been the same as with the other members. It has never really been platonic. There has always been some kind of tension. It has simply changed over the years. If their relationship was very friendly and comfortable in the earlier days, like it was with the other members, that would insinuate that there wasn't any sexual tension or romantic feelings between them. Like I said in the last video, Jungkook is naturally quite shy and not that affectionate, so during those times, it's likely that he was a bit confused and didn't know how to express his emotions. Maybe he felt something towards Jimin, but at the same time didn't want to feel those feelings, so he tried to deny everything. For example, he would often rank everyone else higher than him in looks except Jimin. Now, why did he feel the need to do that? Probably because he was intimidated by his emotions and tried to hide and deny them by pushing Jimin away. Another reason was probably that he wanted Jimin's attention and tried to get it by doing these types of things, as he didn't really know how to express himself or get Jimin's attention without, exposing himself otherwise. If you aren't convinced about this, I'll let you hear it from Jungkook himself. So right here, Jungkook firstly confirms that he also likes Jimin. Later on, he asks Jimin to go away because it's too hot. Now, we can only imagine what took place from the text, but based on Jungkook's word choice, it sounds kind of like a bit panicky to me. It's like when a crush gets too close and you start to get overwhelmed and heated and your mind stops working, so you need to push them away. Here, he literally calls himself a playful hard-to-get type. Now, if a relationship is just friendships, when have you ever played hard to get? This role doesn't really exist in friendships. It's only used in or referred to in situations where the relationship is in some way romantic. So this pretty much tells us that deep down Jungkook has never really seen their relationship as just platonic.
가장 여러 가지로 잘 돌봐주는 형은 누구입니까? 제 생각에는 지민 형이 아닌가 싶어요. 말도 훨씬 많이 걸어주고 또 저를 되게 좋아해주는 것 같아요. 제가 많이 이렇게 튕기긴 하지만 지민 형이 굉장히 잘해줍니다. 먹을 것도 많이 사주고.
Again, he mentions that he ignores him because he's shy. Now, when do people usually get the most shy and awkward? When they are around their crush. So yeah, over time their relationship has just gradually changed from repressed love to more open love. So here's just a shortish montage to sort of showcase their relationship evolution.
지민 씨가 좋아하는 방탄의 황금 막내 정국 씨.
네.
그렇게 좋아요? 지민 씨?
뭔가 마음에 안 드는데
귀엽더라고요.
여러분 정국이 잘 때 저 안 꽂았나요? 되게 이상하네. 안 되겠다. 아마 8988 30개.
자세가.
자자자자자자자자 뭐죠? 오늘 8근육 보여주면서 해야지. 야, 와, 8근육 봐. 와. 절묘한 삼두근의 이 섹시한 각이야. 이야, 참 장난인데. 그 기분이다. 그 기분을 기억해라. 뭐야? 이거네 이거.
waters climbing us. The hardest part's blind to reason, lose the sight of what's to come.
오, 좋은 모습 나가게. 어깨 좀 올라. 이거 저기 소리 아닌데? 이게 아닌데?
Keep on its own below. Sit on your hand. And I just spend your time leading the chorus when the war was just waiting before us, as if you didn't know. You ignored all the darkest of warnings, found our end in the silence of morning. It fell beneath the cold. I take the desert, you take the coast, but to each his own. I take the desert. If we reach up as the waters climbing us, the hardest parts of your silence try to mark the falling snow. We'll leave you here, you know. I just spend your time leading the chorus when the war was just waiting before us, as if you didn't know. You ignored all the darkest of warnings, found our end in the silence of morning. It fell beneath the cold. Take the desert, you take the coast, but to each his own. I take the desert, you take the coast, but to each his own.
성인이 되면 뭐 뭘 할 수 있겠다 뭐 이런 뭐 로망이라든지 그런 게 있어요?
네.
응? 자, 뭐야?
이거 뭐야?
뭐야?
네.
자, 말을 해 뭐야?
여러분들은 아실 거라 믿습니다. 자,
저희 지금 호텔 화장실에서 호텔 화장실에서 연습하고 있어요. 보여줘 내일.
씻어야지.
내일이 호텔 파티. 어디 것이냐? 누구냐? 아. 요즘 정국이가 카메라만 보면 뽀뽀하는 버릇이.
살짝. 그치.
오, 저 섹시한 표정. 와, 갖고 싶다. 갖고 싶다.
그러니까 슈가 형 오늘 울 것 같아?
오죠.
아, 울 것 같냐고.
울 것 같냐고요?
왜 이렇게 눈 떠서 이렇게 봐?
죽어야 것 같아.
야, 정국이라고 다 나올 수 있는 거 아니야?
안무가 그렇게 섹시하다고 소문이 났습니다.
네.
그렇다면 방탄소년단에서 땀방울조차 섹시한 사람은 누구인가요?
아, 땀방. 하나, 둘, 셋.
지민?
저는 원래 경찰이 되고 싶어요.
Oh, he wants to be a police officer.
네, 맞아요.
Oh, yeah.
야, 잘했다. 이거는 내 방에도 걸어두고 싶네요.
아, 그래요?
아니요.
그러고 싶지 않다.
눈이 와요.
I told you something safe, something I've never said before. And I can't keep my hands off you. While you're lying awake, covered all in the night before. I'm high. No one's got me quite like you. I want you all to myself. Don't leave none for nobody else. I am an animal with you. No angels could beckon me back. It's harder than hell where I'm at. I am an animal with you. To the boy I love, boy, I'll die to care for you. You might tell me who do I owe that to? And as the days fly by, we'll be more than getting through. And in time, we'll build a home for two. You all to myself. Don't leave none for nobody else. I am an animal with you. No angels could beckon me back. It's harder than hell where I'm at. I am an animal.
명에서 즐길 수 있는 게임이 있어요.
잠시 기다려봐라.
이젠 좀 나로 나가는 것 같아. 근데 눈앞에 5, 6년 차 선배들. 이거 가자, 민기야 가자.
What I find fascinating and endearing about Jungkook's behavior is that he might be a bit careful about expressing his feelings towards Jimin, although that isn't really always the case. But yet it is clear that he is always aware of whatever Jimin is doing, and this is shown in any type of trivia involving Jimin. Jungkook literally knows what Jimin has done better than Jimin himself does, and I think that tells us that if his eyes aren't watching Jimin, then his every other sense is.
너 팥 좋아해 안 좋아해?
팥이요?
응.
지민이 별로 안 좋아해.
Zihin alnagan. Yeonen mal.
이거는 지민이 형 같은데. 너 힌트라고?
지친 날 누군가 불러 세워가 내 말.
정답.
지민이 형이. 지민이 형.
지민 형이 오고 있는데 오지 말라고 도망가는 그런 장면.
왜 오지 말라고?
의심이 가니까. 아 힌트 찾고 있었죠. 지민 힌트 찾고 있는 지민 지민 잠깐 바깥에서 뭔가 지민
찾았어 못 찾았어. 그만 얘기하면 돼.
지민 2분의 1 확률 찾았어. 지민 정답.
와.
지민의 생일 기념 깜짝 라이브에서 지민이 40회
머리 틀어 넘기는 거.
맞아.
맨디님 오늘 편의점 팬티 지민님 오늘 편의점 팬티 안 입으셨대요. 여러분 그때
질문이 이거.
지민이가 잘하는 거?
나도 지민! 나도 지민! 나 사실 애교 빼면 시체야! 이거 정말 투머치 인포메이션이구나.
So this one could be explained as them being just super close friends, but based on all the things that I have mentioned before this, I see it as simply supporting evidence of a romantic relationship. The fact that they are always together also proves that no other ships involving one of them are likely to be true, since in that case they would probably be spending more time with that member.
아 가자.
여러분 고생하셨습니다. 매치가
고생하셨습니다.
잠시만. 폰 속에 나 내 얼굴을 계속 보이. 뭐야 이거?
Don't cry, JK.
Don't cry.
Don't cry, JK.
Don't cry, JK.
진짜 고맙다 야.
오케이. 아 이제 너. 차를 하러 왔다.
샐러드 그리고 뭐 지민이랑 정국이가 아까 뭐 배달 음식 시켜 먹었길래 그거 옆에서 그냥 짝짝짝 냠냠 하고 빨리 가라고 한 점 우리 지민이랑 특히 이제 정국이한테 미안하고 고맙다는 말.
깜짝 서프라이즈 지민이는 정국이가 하지 않아요?
보고 싶은데
제가 볼 때는 정국이가 못 가게 하는 것 같아요. 지금 둘이 놀고 있나 봐요.
So something I have also noticed is that Jimin and Jungkook are always secretly stealing glances of each other, or then just blatantly looking for eye contact with each other for whatever reason. It's almost as if they are in their own world sometimes, and they just glance at each other to confirm that the other is thinking what they are.
어디가 좋을까요? 그러면 저 랜덤으로 130911로 어디로 가는지 모르고 따라하는 여행이 그렇잖아요. 좋네요. 정말 어디든지 갈 수 있다면 그럼 저는 미래로.
You have to be, I guess we're kind of begging you to spend some more time with us.
I think we've.
Bam! 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 Number one, BTS. What's this? Boom!
제가 하도록 하겠습니다.
네, 감사합니다. 저희 앞으로 더
The winter in New York. That's all I.
Yeah, but I want to go to Laguna, Santa Monica. Yeah, and in and out. Yeah, but I want to go to Laguna, Santa Monica.
말이 너무 귀엽지 않아요?
말이 너무 귀엽지 않아요?
나저 팔 때 어떡하지? 누가 아예 안 나올 것 같은데.
저는 아미입니다. 군이 아미요? 아미. 아 그렇게 내가 좋아서.
티가 안 나는데? 좋아. 일단 보면 안 됐어. 안 돼. 나도 지금 생각이 안 나.
그래 뭐 거운ですか?
なんだか身長が
ココさん?はい.
끝날 때가 다 돼가는 것 같아요.
저도 아쉬워요, 지민 씨.
기적 같은 네네네 기적 같은 일이 뭐가 있었는지 한번 얘기를 해볼까요? 오늘 뭔가 감사합니다.
I want that. Touch. I need that. You to see without my eyes. The first time that you kissed me, boundless by the time I cried. I built your walls around me. White noise, what an awful sound. Fumbling by Rogue River, feel my feet above the ground. Hand of God, deliver me. Oh, woe is me. The first time that you touched me, oh, will wonders ever cease? Blessed be the mystery of love. Lord, I no longer believe, drowned in living waters, cursed by the love that I receive from my brother's daughter, like Hephaestion who died. Alexander's lover, now my riverbed has dried. Shall I find no other? Oh, woe is me. I'm running like a plover. Now I'm prone to misery. The birthmark on your shoulder reminds me.
야야야야야야. 뭐야 이 큰 강아지는. 잘 사람 개수를. 야야야야야야야야. 아야야야야 손가락들. 엉덩이도 아야야.
물 안 들어온다면서요?
상반신이 안 들어가려고.
감사. 아, 좋다. 뭐해? 어우 좋아.
여기는 씻는 게 자동인가?
해수 서비스가 있네.
오늘 목도 좋고 정국이가 인이어도 안 끊기고 마이크도 안 끊겨서 기분이 좋아요. 정국이.
제가 이때까지 한
잘했어요.
글로벌 셀프 투어 중에 가장 좋았던 것 같아요.
들어가시죠 그러면.
아, LA 잘 수고했다. 오늘 재밌었어요. 감사합니다. 정말 힘들어.
난 안 힘드냐? 너 안 힘들어.
역시 잘 노는 나라, 잘 노는 도시, 미국.
저희 유튜브를 하고 있었는데 멤버들이 또 사진 찍어야 된다고 부르겠죠. 그럼 있어봐야 되는데 멤버들이 얼마나 기다렸어요. 아, 그러네요.
오늘도 다시 보는 크리스마스 트리.
우리 했던 거 있잖아요.
이거냐?
그게 이 박자가 아니잖아요.
올해도 다시 보는 크리스마스 트리. 기다렸던 날이 찾아온 건지 거리 곳곳을 많이 밝히며 올해도 내일도 크리스마스 예.
아직 거려 사랑은지 모르지만
형이 처음 가사 쓴 거 아니야.
잘 썼어요.
그 친구. 일단 뭐가 느껴지지?
그 친구였어. 뭐라고요? 너무 아파. 정말로. 아, 아프다. 내가 웃고 있어서 그러는데 진짜 아파.
하늘 하크
맞아. 이러고 뛰기가 생각보다 힘들어요.
그러니까 그거 기억이 남습니다.
저는 그거 기억이 남았어요. 그 불 버버벙 터지는 CG 있잖아.
너는 내 삶에 다시 뜬 햇빛 어린 시절 내 꿈들의 재림 모르겠어 이 감정이 뭔지 혹시 여기도 꿈속인 건지 꿈은 사막의 푸른 신기루 내 깊은 곳에 아프리오리 숨이 막힐 듯이 행복해져 주변이 점점 더 투명해져 저기 멀리서 바다가 들려 꿈을 건너서 숲을 너머로 선명해지는 그곳으로 가 Take my hands now You are the cause of my euphoria Close that door now. When I'm with you, I'm in utopia처럼 지워진 꿈을 찾아 헤맸을까 운명 같은 하나말과 달라 아픈 너의 눈빛이 나와 같은 곳을 보는 걸 When you please stay in dreams yeah. 저기 멀리서 바다가 들려 꿈을 건너서 숲을 너머로 선명해지는 그곳으로 가 Take my hands now You are the cause of my euphoria Euphoria Take my hands now You are the cause of my euphoria 모래바닥이 갈라진대도 그 누가 이 세계를 흔들어도 잡은 손 절대 놓지 말아줘 제발 꿈에서 깨어났지만 저기 멀리서 바다가 들려 꿈을 건너서 숲을 너머로 선명해지는 그곳으로 가 Take my hands now You are the cause of my euphoria Take my hands now You are the cause of my Close that door now When I'm with you I'm in utopia 이 모든 건 우연이 아니야 그냥 나의 느낌으로 온 세상이 어제와는 달라 그냥 너의 기쁨으로 네가 날 불렀을 때 나는 너의 꽃으로 기다렸던 것처럼 우리 시리도록 펴 어쩌면 우주의 섭리 그냥 그랬던 거야 You know I know 너는 난 너 설레는 만큼 많이 두려워 운명이 우릴 자꾸 질투했어 너만큼 나도 많이 무서워 When you see me, when you touch me 우주가 우릴 위해 움직였어 조금의 어긋남조차 없었어 너와 내 행복은 예정됐던 걸 Cause you love me and I love you 넌 내 푸른 곰팡이 날 구원해준 나의 천사 나의 세상 난 네 삼색 고양이 널 만나러 온 Love me now Touch me now Just let me love you Just let me love you 우주가 처음 생겨났을 때부터 모든 건 정해진 거였어 Just let me love you Let me love you
잼. 뭐냐 이거? 잼해. 잼이.
지금 가기 괜찮아.
찜이. 템퍼보이. 찜이.
지민이.
이게 누구야?
저요.
시민.
라스트.
그렇지. 광가. 광가. 갑자기 옆돌기를.
Thank you so much for watching. I know it's like really long, so I'm impressed if you made it this far. Please tell me your thoughts down below. If you disagree with me, please tell me why. Or if you want to add something, if you think I missed something significant, or if you just want to give your support or talk about this topic in general. It would be lovely if you commented down below. It's really nice to read the comments. So yeah, thank you for watching.